The email arrived at 3:47 p.m., though Maya wouldn't see it until the next red light. The algorithm had taken 2 seconds to scan her credit report and reject their rental application. Maya would spend the next hour wondering what she'd done wrong. "Another no," she said, her voice flat. Jordan kept his eyes on the road, but his jaw tightened. That made 4 rejections in 2 weeks. Did they say why? Maya scrolled through the email. Credit score too low. They want a higher deposit we can't afford. What Maya didn't fully understand yet was how credit scores actually worked. A credit score is a 3-digit number ranging from 300 to 850 that lenders and landlords use to predict how likely someone is to pay their bills on time. It's calculated by analyzing 5 key factors: payment history, which accounts for 35% of the score and tracks whether bills are paid on time; amounts owed, which makes up 30% and looks at how much debt someone carries; length of credit history at 15%, measuring how long accounts have been open; new credit at 10%, tracking recent applications; and credit mix at 10%, evaluating the variety of credit types someone manages. Maya's score had dropped from 689 to 642 because of one mistake: a $1,847 medical bill that had gone to collections. She'd been caught in a bureaucratic nightmare between her insurance company and St. Mary's Hospital. By the time anyone notified her that the bill existed, it had already been sent to collections, and collections accounts can drop a credit score by 50 to 100 points almost instantly. "It's not fair," Maya said, as they pulled into their apartment complex. "One bill I didn't even know about, and now we can't find anywhere to live." Jordan turned off the engine. "We'll figure it out." But Maya wasn't sure how. Their lease expired in 8 weeks, and every decent apartment wanted a credit score of at least 670. Some wanted 700 or higher. The number felt like a locked door she couldn't get through. That evening, Maya sat on their bedroom floor surrounded by papers: bank statements, credit reports, letters from collection agencies. Jordan found her there, tears streaming down her face. "I'm trying to understand how to fix this," she said, gesturing at her laptop screen. "But every article says something different." Jordan sat beside her, looking at the credit monitoring site she'd pulled up. "Walk me through it. What are we dealing with?" Maya took a shaky breath. "Okay. So there are 3 major credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They all collect information about how people handle credit. Lenders report to them every month. And they calculate your score based on what? 5 things." Maya pulled up a chart. Payment history is the biggest one, 35%. That's where I got killed. When that medical bill went to collections, it showed up as a seriously delinquent account. That's the worst thing you can have besides bankruptcy or foreclosure. What are the other factors? Amounts owed, that's 30%. It looks at your credit utilization, which is how much of your available credit you're using. Like, if you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit and you owe $8,000, that's 80% utilization. Anything over 30% starts hurting your score. "We're good there, right?" Jordan asked. "Yeah, we barely use our cards. That's not the problem." Maya scrolled down. "Then there's length of credit history. 15%. How long you've had accounts open. New credit is 10%. That's every time someone checks your credit, like when we apply for apartments. Too many inquiries make you look desperate." "How many is too many?" "More than 2 or 3 in a few months. We've had 7. Jordan winced. "And the last factor?" "Credit mix, 10%. That's having different types of credit, like a car loan, credit cards, maybe a mortgage. It shows you can handle different kinds of debt responsibly." Jordan studied the numbers. "So the collection is killing us, and all these rental applications are making it worse." "Exactly. Every landlord checks our credit, which creates a hard inquiry. Each one drops the score by a few points, and they all see the collection, so they reject us, which means we apply more places, which creates more inquiries." Maya's voice broke. "It's a cycle I can't break." "Okay," Jordan said, taking her hand. "So how do we fix it?" Maya pulled up another document. "I've been researching. First, I need to pay off the collection. The agency will accept a lump sum of $1,400 to settle it. That's $447 less than I actually owe. Once it's paid, it stays on my report for 7 years, but the impact decreases over time." 7 years, Jordan's eyes widened. "That's how long negative items stay on your report. But here's the thing. The older it gets, the less it matters. The first year is the worst. After 2 years, the impact is maybe half as bad. After 5 years, it barely registers. So we can't just erase it? No. I can dispute it if there's an error, like if they reported the wrong amount or put it on my report twice. But if the information is accurate, it stays. Maya pulled up her payment history. The good news is I can start rebuilding. Payment history is 35%, right? So if I make every single payment on time from now on, every month that passes without a late payment helps. How long until your score goes back up? It depends. If I pay off the collection, make all payments on time, and keep my credit card utilization below 30%, I could see improvement in 3 to 6 months. To get back to where I was? Probably 12 to 18 months. Jordan absorbed this. That's a long time. I know, but there are some tricks. I can become an authorized user on someone else's credit card, someone with good credit and a long history. Their good payment history would show up on my report too. Like my parents? Maya's stomach clenched. I'm not asking your parents for help. It wouldn't be asking for money. Just, no. She stood abruptly. Jordan, I'm 32 years old. I should be able to handle this myself. But you didn't create this problem alone. The hospital screwed up. The insurance company screwed up. And I should have been more organized. I should have followed up. Maya paced the room. Don't you get it? This number represents everything I failed at. Every time a landlord sees it, they see someone who's irresponsible, who can't be trusted. That's not what it shows, Jordan said quietly. Then what does it show? That you got caught in a bureaucratic mess, that you're human. He stood, blocking her pacing. Maya, listen to me. A credit score measures one thing, how likely you are to pay back money you borrow. It doesn't measure character. It doesn't measure worth. But it determines everything. Where we can live, whether we can buy a car, what interest rates we get. I know, and that's real, and we have to deal with it. But it's not who you are. The next morning, Maya woke with a plan. While Jordan slept, she made coffee and opened her laptop. She called the collection agency first. I want to settle this account, she told the representative. I can pay $1,400 today if you'll mark it as paid in full. After some negotiation, they agreed. She transferred the money, a chunk of their savings, but necessary. Then she set up automatic payments for every bill they had. Credit card, utilities, streaming services, everything. She couldn't afford another late payment. Next, she opened a secured credit card, a card where she had to deposit $500 as collateral, which became her credit limit. It wasn't much, but it would let her build positive payment history. She set up an automatic payment for $50 a month on the card, then an automatic payment to pay it off in full each month. No fees, no interest, just a steady stream of on-time payments that would report to all 3 credit bureaus. What are you doing? Jordan asked, emerging from the bedroom. Rebuilding, Maya said. I can't fix yesterday, but I can fix tomorrow. They continued apartment hunting, but with different expectations. When they toured a modest 2-bedroom in an up-and-coming neighborhood, the landlord, a retired postal worker named Mr. Kowalski, actually looked at their full application instead of just their credit scores. I see you've got a collection here, he said to Maya. Her stomach dropped. Yes, it was a medical bill that... How long you been paying on it? I settled it 3 weeks ago, paid in full, and I've set up automatic payments for everything else. I'm working on rebuilding. Mr. Kowalski nodded slowly. My daughter went through something similar. Medical bills, insurance company gave her the runaround. You know what her credit score was during all that? Maya shook her head. 520. Lower than yours. She's got perfect credit now. Took about 2 years. He looked at both of them. You got first month and security deposit? Yes, Jordan said carefully. Then the place is yours. In the car afterward, Maya cried with relief. He actually looked at the whole picture, not just the number. Some people still do that, Jordan said, squeezing her hand. Over the next 14 months, Maya watched her credit score climb with the obsessive attention of someone monitoring a stock ticker. The collection agency reported the settled debt as paid, which didn't remove it from her report, but did improve how it looked. Her new secured credit card reported perfect payment history every month. She disputed 2 small errors on her report, a duplicate inquiry and an incorrect late payment, and won both disputes. The score climbed, 658 after 3 months, 671 after 6, 689 after a year, back to where she'd started. By month 14, it hit 714. But more than the number, Maya learned how the system actually worked. She learned that credit scores aren't permanent judgments, but constantly recalculating algorithms. She learned that negative items hurt most when they're fresh and fade with time. She learned that consistent, boring financial habits, paying bills on time, keeping credit utilization low, not applying for too much new credit, were more powerful than any quick fix. Most importantly, she learned that a credit score measured her financial behavior, not her worth as a person. When they finally bought their house, a modest 3-bedroom that needed work but felt like possibility, Maya stood in the empty living room, thinking about the journey. "You know what's funny?" she said to Jordan. "I used to think that number defined me. Turns out I was wrong." "What defines you?" "The choice to keep going when it's hard. The choice to learn from mistakes instead of being destroyed by them." She smiled. "And having someone who stood by me when I couldn't stand by myself?" Jordan pulled her close. "That works both ways." Outside, the moving truck beeped. Their new life was arriving, built not on perfect credit, but on resilience, patience, and the slow work of rebuilding trust, with the financial system, with each other, and with themselves. The credit score had been real. The obstacles it created had been real. But so was this. 2 people who'd learned that mistakes weren't fatal, that systems could be understood and navigated, and that the numbers that seemed to define everything were just that. Numbers. Important, yes, but not everything. And that knowledge, Maya thought, was worth more than any credit score could measure.